Installing a Forbo floor. The instructional video that you'll see in Dutch shows a fellow slapping this stuff together without care, very quickly. The truth, however, is somewhat different. First of all, you have to assemble it in a room length, bit by bit.
Your entire run needs to be assembled before you put it in, because each piece has to be hinged into place. So that is what I'm doing now. I'm hinging them end to end, and I'm trying to get them to go down as tightly as possible and as closely as possible as they're going to be to their finished width. We are using the plank size, which says it's 36 by 12. It's actually 35 by 11 and 7/8. That does make a difference when you are planning your installation.
And by the way, when you've done it right, you shouldn't see any gaps.
We have done about a little over a third of the room already. I really like the way it looks when it's in, but it's tough to put in. It's much more difficult than the instructional video says. Anyway, you must assemble an entire run before you go to hinge it in, and we'll show you how to do that in a second. Again, because the flooring must be hinged in, you cannot, we had to take off the molding from around the doorway here, because you have to hinge it in. When you're doing a hardwood floor, you can just slide it into place. Because this has to be hinged, you have to take that molding off so that you can get it up under where the molding is going to be. So you must precisely cut, we have precisely cut a notch here to get it to work.
Now, here's the hard part. You have to angle up this section and then sort of wedge it into place, but then you have to smooth it out and fit it in sections.
Okay, this needs to go that direction.
Now, what we didn't show was picking this entire run at an angle, about a 20-degree angle, and wedging it in. And the way it works best, we found, is we start from one end, usually the right, and then you want to wedge it in so that you don't see a gap, and then you have to work with it slat by slat all the way down until you don't see a gap down the entire course. And then you have to be very careful at tapping it into place.
Forbo used to make its own installation kit. There is, along the sides of the slats, there are lips that fit into each other. There's a lip that fits into a slot. Now this, as you can see, sticks out just about 1/8 of an inch from the actual finished part of the board.
You can break it.
It is easily broken because this is a recycled fiber product, and these chip off very easily. That's good in some cases because you want to take it off sometimes, but in others, no. So you must tap it very, very gently.
Okay.
We have noticed that once this has been put in and taken apart, it's a little bit easier to get it together, but the first time that you hinge it, it's tough and it takes work. And as I said, you have to do the entire run. You can't just do it piece by piece. So you have to lift it up, really smack it into place before you let it go. Now,
And by smack, she does not mean with explosive force. She means pick it up and fit it. Now it's an...
as you can see, I fit it and then it comes apart, and I fit it and it comes apart. And it doesn't go together nearly as simply as it seems to in the video that Forbo produced.
You have to sort of zip it together. What happens is I'll post myself on one end, she'll post herself in the middle. We only have 2 people here. No photographer, sorry. And we get it so that there's no gap. And then I continue working along and I erase this gap by lifting it and fitting it. That's how it goes in.
In the video, it shows wedges that you place under there to help you if you have no other person to help you out. I can see how that might be helpful, but I'm not certain that it would.
And you can't get them.
No, and you can make your own.
Forbo doesn't sell an installation kit for Forbo Marmolium.
And the installation kit that I bought has the spacers that were sent are made on an angle, so that they didn't work very well. I had to buy more spacers of a different type. The other thing that you need is the right saws. we took the pieces that need to be ripped, cut the long way, we took to a friend to use his table saw, because we don't have one, and we were unable to find one to rent. So the short pieces, we are cutting ourselves with a miter saw. We have to get around the gas line here, so because, again, we cannot tilt up, we're going to notch this out right here so that it gets around this gas line. And then we'll be able to tilt it and set it into place.
And here's a note of explanation. We are putting Forbo down on the entire floor, not just the working surfaces, but even where the cabinets are going.
We felt that this was a less expensive and easier alternative to cutting all around all the cabinets.
For instance, this area right here will be where the cabinets are, and then the area up against the wall there. You will not see this notch. One other thing is you have to buy an installation kit, and they give you these little spacers.
They don't work very well.
They don't work very well.
Unless you have a very, very, very flat floor to start with.
The idea is this is a floating floor, and you have to keep it away from the ends of the walls to some width, because you don't want it expanding and buckling.
Right.
With changes in temperature.
Same as a hardwood floor.
Same as a hardwood floor.